ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुक्तापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान सहगण गीता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभान देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So welcome to corporate Bhagavad Gita. We are reading from 7th chapter today, starting with 7th chapter. So in the previous chapter, in the very last verse, Krishna said something and that becomes a topic of 7th chapter. Basically, Krishna says you become a yogi. Um,
that shloka, no?
yeah,
Baddhatenantaraatmana.
yes, a yogi. And then he says a yogi is one who thinks of him in devotion. Mad gatintaratmana. So one may question, why Krishna? Why not anybody else? I mean, Krishna himself is speaking, and then he's saying yoga process is topmost when when the yogi thinks of him. He could have said something else, but he said Mama. So who is this Krishna? So basically, Krishna's biodata is getting opened up from chapter number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So he presents the knowledge of himself as the Supreme Personal Godhead. That's the thing. And then he says, to understand this, one has to hear. Okay. Hearing is the only way. Um, if we meet a person and that person says, I am the owner of so and so company, the best way to understand it is that if we accept it, right? And if we just hear from him, okay, you're telling the truth, okay. But if we keep arguing and all that, then we may not even understand what he's trying to say. So something like that. So to understand Krishna is the Supreme Personal Godhead, um, one has to do hearing from the source, from the parampara, from the Guru. And in case of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is the Guru and is Supreme Lord both at the same time. So the process of hearing is very important to start bhakti, to know about Krishna, um, to delve in Krishna. Okay. So from Prahlad Maharaj, we come to know Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Shravanam means to hear. Now we hear about Krishna from other devotees and Guru, but in case of Bhagavad Gita, we hear from him only. So that's a very interesting thing that Krishna starts with. Ah, let's start with it. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya saktamana partha yogam yunjam madashraya asamchayan samagram mam yatha gyanyasi tatshunu. Tatshunu shunu means now listen from me. Now listen from me. The Supreme Person Godhead said, "Oh, here, now here, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free of doubt." So he's telling how we can meditate on Krishna, how we can become attached to Krishna through our mind, and by practicing yoga. And the name of this chapter is Knowledge of the Absolute. So Krishna is going to talk about him. In the seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the nature of Krishna consciousness is fully described. Krishna is full in all opulences, and how he manifests such opulences is described here. Opulences. I had this example with me that Bill Gates, everyone knows about Bill Gates. Any educated person will know why, because we are using Windows machine and he started this company Microsoft. So he's earning, even though he's not working, but still he's earning because his company is still earning. So it is said that if he's earning, at a rate of very high rate of earning, so it is explained like if suppose $1,000 fall from his pocket, $1,000 is 82,000 rupees. So $1,000 fall from his pocket and lands on the ground, and he goes and he tries to pick it up. By the time he picked up, he has already earned $1,000. So at that rate, he is earning, right? That is his opulence, his greatness, his richness. Okay. So if somebody hears about this, that he's so rich that even if $1,000 fall from his pocket, by the time he picks it up, he has already earned it. So if a person listens, how will people react to this? What do you think? If people hear about the opulence of Bill Gates, or let's say Ambani also in Mumbai, he has such a big house there, and few people are standing and looking at that house. Okay, $1 billion house. Now, how will they react after seeing this opulence?
They will say, "Wow, Prabhuji." They'll say that. I mean, he's so lucky. He's able to do. I mean, like
Okay, that
they'll
is
only
one.
appreciate him.
Okay, that is one kind of reaction.
Yes,
What
Prabhuji.
is other kind of reactions?
They might feel jealous also.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Wow. Incense. Other reactions?
Uh, they'll feel that we should be there in place of him. Envy also, Prabhuji. Why not
Yeah,
me?
jealous, envy. Why not me? Right. Anything else?
They'll feel that he's so blessed and he's so lucky. They'll think that they must have done something very good in the past, that he is reaping all the benefits now.
Okay. Anything more that comes to your mind?
That much only, Prabhuji.
Well, there'll be some who will say, so what? They'll be
So
indifferent.
what? So what if he's great? We are also great in our own way.
No, no. So what? I don't care.
He will anyways not give anything to me. Then why should I bother about him?
No, indifferent
Yes,
in sense neutral.
yes, yes.
They don't mind him being rich and all that. So when one sees opulence of Ambani or Bill Gates and sees his house, some will have a wow aspect, they will have and respect, aspire. Some will become jealous. Some will become envy.
Mm.
Say, why not me? Some will say, yeah, he's so lucky. And there will be few who will say, who will be neutral. Okay, he is rich, fine. I have nothing to do with it. So he will just walk away. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes, Prabhu.
how will friends of Ambani react? How do friends of Ambani react? They'll react with
Friends will,
friends will be
they
happy.
will,
Yeah,
yes,
friends will be
Prabhuji. They
happy.
will,
I'm very happy for you. You have
yes,
become a
yes.
rich man. I'm very happy for you, right? And
Genuine friends, Prabhuji. Yeah,
yeah, genuine friends. And there will be enemies. They will envy. Why he? Why not me? Right?
yes.
Yeah. So now Krishna is going to talk about his opulences, and various people will give various responses. Just like in this world, people give such response. Now Krishna is talking about his opulence, so people also give some reaction to it. Now he's saying his opulences to Arjuna. Why? Because Arjuna is Krishna's friend. So anything good happening to Krishna, Arjuna is not going to become envious. He's saying, very good, very nice thing happened with you. Right? So that is also a criteria to hear about Krishna's opulences. And Krishna will say this in ninth chapter. Because you are my friend, you are my devotee, I will tell you more. You won't get envious of me. Hmm? I'll tell you more about myself. So, so Krishna is full in all opulences, and how he manifests such opulences is described here. Also, four kinds of fortunate people who become attached to Krishna, and four kinds of unfortunate people who never take to Krishna are described in this chapter. So we already discussed, this opulence that Krishna has. There are few people who will get attracted to him, and then there will be few people who won't get attracted to him because they are envious, they are jealous. They want to, take Krishna's position. So Krishna is going to talk about all these four kinds, that is 8 kinds of people in this chapter. In the first 6 chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the living entity is described as non-material spirit soul capable of elevating himself to self-realization by different types of yogas. At the end of 6th chapter, it has been clearly stated that a steady concentration of mind upon Krishna, or in other words, Krishna consciousness is the highest form of all yoga. There was a very nice picture. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Uh, Too many things are coming here. Okay, maybe I didn't prepare that cartoon for you, but it was very nice depiction. Okay, I don't have it here. So the point to mention here is, if somebody is doing yoga, somebody is doing yoga, breathing exercise, meditation, what is the state of mind is more important in this yoga, right? Like in a class there are many students and the teacher is teaching. Now everyone is looking at the direction of the teacher, right? Do you think everyone is paying attention?
No, Prabhuji.
Why?
No.
It
Why?
depends on their level, their interest, and
It
their
depends where their
level of.
mind is.
Yes.
Okay, where the mind is, attention flows. So our attention will flow where our mind is. So even though there may be students sitting and they may be looking at the teacher, and the teacher is thinking, okay, everyone is listening. That's true. No, it still depends on the student only where his mind is. Now, if a India-Pakistan match, cricket match is going on, we know where the mind is, right? The mind is where the cricket match is going on. Or if something else is there in his mind, he's going to go to vacation, then that is going on in his head. Okay, I need to pack things, I need to go, right? So in yoga, one may be doing the meditation, but ultimately where his mind is the crucial thing to understand that whether he's advancing in yoga or not. Agreed? This is the criteria. Where our mind is depends how we are advancing. Same way, where our mind is depends on how much we are able to absorb in a lecture from the teacher, right? If the mind is 100% over there, then we will absorb everything. Just like in a movie or in a sports match or some serial is going on, our mind is fully there. So we catch everything, every word that is spoken, every song that is sung, right? So so where our mind is the criteria of our advancement in Krishna consciousness or in yoga. So Krishna says the when the mind is on him, that is the best form of yoga. So when the mind is upon Krishna, that is the highest form of yoga. Now, how do we, what does it mean by mind upon Krishna? Concentration of mind upon Krishna. Can you tell me what does this statement mean? You can give me some example.
Concentration of mind is like doing all our activities, keeping him as the epicenter, like always doing everything for remembering him.
Okay. Anything?
Relating every activity, I mean, like to
Actually, this is highest thing. Seeing Krishna everywhere. That is also thing. Remembering him and seeing Krishna everywhere. Okay. Give me example. Concentration of mind upon Krishna. Concentration of mind upon somebody. What happens when the focus is on somebody?
when the focus is on someone, Prabhuji, we always try to please them, and we try to whatever we do, we try to uh, do it for their to satisfy them or to get their appreciation.
Yeah. There are many examples. Like I was talking about student in the class, right? If the student is thinking about cricket, then he's always thinking about it. If he reads something C also, he will say cricket, right? If a teacher is teaching him something, if he sees numbers, he will see, okay, this much is the score, this many fours and this many six. Why? He will connect it everything with cricket. Why? Because his mind is concentrated on cricket. We see this when, boy and girl, they become attracted to each other. They are always thinking about the other person so much. Hmm? um, and wherever they see, they think that that person is over there. This is like, you know it's like, people say, has he become little mad or something, right? So even in Krishna consciousness, the same thing is there. When our mind is upon Krishna, we see Krishna everywhere, we connect everything to Krishna, and we always think about Krishna, that how in this situation I can serve him.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, a mother also,
Yeah, yeah,
when they
mother.
have
Yeah,
a
I
baby,
forgot.
they keep
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
thinking, and whatever they see, they feel like buying it for the child or
Yeah, 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 yeah.
whatever.
You take them out, and always they're thinking, hey, this my child will like very much. This my
Yes,
child
yes,
won't like. This is that. True. That is
yes.
also there. Mother and all. So yes. So when mind is on Krishna, then we always think connected with Krishna. Okay. By concentrating one mind upon Krishna, one is able to know the absolute truth completely and not otherwise. Impersonal Brahmajyoti or localized Paramatma realization is not perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. So, mind on impersonal Jyoti, Brahmajyoti, and Paramatma, out of which better is Paramatma, because there is some form. Some form, there is the true form of Krishna, four-handed form of Krishna. But in Brahmajyoti, there is no form, because it's just light. You can't focus on light. So, therefore, those realization in Brahmajyoti and Paramatma are partial. Full scientific knowledge is Krishna, and everything is revealed to a person in Krishna consciousness. In complete Krishna consciousness, one knows that Krishna is the ultimate knowledge beyond any doubts. Different types of yogas are only stepping stone on the path of Krishna consciousness. One who takes directly to Krishna automatically knows about Brahma Jyotir and Paramatma in full. By practice of Krishna consciousness yoga, one can know everything in full, namely the absolute truth, the living entities, the material nature, and their manifestation with paraphernalia. One should therefore begin the yoga process as directed in the last verse of 6th chapter. Concentration of mind upon Krishna, the Supreme, is made possible by prescribed devotional service in 9 different forms, of which Shravanam is the first and the most important. So, first is hearing. First, we hear about Krishna. Then, we can fix our mind automatically. It will happen automatically. The Lord therefore says to Arjuna, touch me, hear from me. No one can be greater authority than Krishna, and therefore, by hearing from him, one receives the greatest opportunity to become a perfectly Krishna conscious person. Now, Krishna is a supreme and he is Guru both. In Bhagavad Gita, he is both. One has therefore to learn from Krishna directly or from a pure devotee of Krishna. So, we are now learning from directly from Krishna, and at the same time, we are learning from a pure devotee, the Acharyas, the Prabhupada, and he has pulled out all the Acharya purports in these purports, and through them also we are trying to fix our mind on Krishna, and not from a non-devotee upstart puffed up with the academic education. So there are many scholarly people, Sanskrit scholarly people, who are not devotees. They are not devoted to Krishna, but they are very expert in Sanskrit language. So they may translate Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures, but we will see that those who attend their classes will never become devotees of Krishna. Why? Because the teacher himself didn't have that devotion for Krishna, so he couldn't transmit that devotion to the students. So the students were only restricted just to what knowledge, just to the philosophical knowledge of it, not about the personality of Krishna. Okay. So these so-called philosophers, they they may talk about Bhagavad Gita, but actually it is incomplete. Because Bhagavad Gita should ultimately lead one to become or aspire to become pure devotee of Krishna. Just like Arjuna. So Bhagavad Gita should try to make us like Arjuna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, this process of understanding Krishna, the Supreme Personal Godhead, this absolute truth is described in the second chapter of the first canto as follows. Srinvatam Sokatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Ridyandasti Bhadrani Buddhinoti Sudit Sadham Nashta Prayesho Badashu, many verses which talk about how to hear about Krishna and then fix. I will just read this. It's like long purport and then we'll discuss. To hear about Krishna from Vedic scriptures, literatures, or to hear from him directly to Bhagavad Gita, it is itself righteous activity. It's a dharmic activity to hear about Krishna from Bhagavad Gita, from other Vedic literatures. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna is dwelling in everyone's heart and acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops the dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from devotees, he becomes fixed in devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the heart knot of material affection and enables one to become at once to go to the stage of asamshayama samagram, understanding of the absolute truth personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing one from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness, one can understand the science of Krishna. So, few things. First thing is that um, if you want to know, a owner of a company, there are two ways to know it. One is who is working in that company. You ask him, who is the owner? Tell me something about it, right? And second one is if you meet the owner directly, then you can ask him. Okay, in case of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is directly here. But again, we are learning Bhagavad Gita from the acharyas also. Okay. And when we hear about Krishna, what happens? Krishna acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. So, who is responding to our hearing of Krishna? Who is responding?
Lord Himself.
Yeah. And what is he
Yes.
doing? What is he doing?
Lord is listening.
No, Lord is not listening. He acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee from constantly engages in hearing of him. So within his heart, he purifies him. So the devotees start losing anarthas when they hear about Krishna. Uh, Lust, greed, anger. These are three gates to hell. So this starts reducing considerably just because we are hearing about Krishna. And when impurities are removed from our body, how do we feel? We feel more strong, happy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So similarly, when Krishna removes our anarthas, we will enjoy this spiritual process. So, so hearing is so important. So it is attentive hearing and response of Krishna. Both the things are happening. If you attentively hear, then Krishna also responds. Two things are happening. Say in a school, we attentively hear something. What is happening over there? Only one thing is happening: attentive hearing is happening. And the subject matter is getting absorbed in our mind and consciousness. Does the subject matter respond to that? No, right? Physics doesn't tell and come to us, you are hearing me for a long time. I'm also student of physics. You're hearing for a long time. So does physics, chemistry, finance, people attentively hear about all these subjects? Do these subjects respond? No. Why? Because those are all dead subjects, not alive subjects. But Krishna is person and is sitting within our heart as four-handed form of Vishnu. So he responds. Okay. So in our material transaction, we never find anybody responding. We have to simply give attentive hearing and it just absorbs in our mind. But here, Krishna responds. That is the difference. Okay. ज्ञानम ते अहम स विज्ञानम इदम वक्ष्यामि अशेषतः यद नात्वा नेह भूयोज्ञ ज्ञात्वात् ज्ञात ज्ञात यज्ञात्वा यज्ञात्वा सॉरी ज्ञात so difficult to pronounce. ज्ञात्यव्यम अविशेष्यते avashishyate ज्ञात्यत्वम avashishyate. Okay. I shall declare unto you full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numerous. Thus being known, nothing further can remain for you to know. So Krishna is saying this knowledge is the highest. If you know about this, then you don't need to know anything further. Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. It's a very interesting statement. What is phenomenal world? Phenomenal world means things which are going around us. Like, other people, this universe, the earth, volcano, earthquakes, so many things keep happening. So that is all the phenomenal world. Okay. This is transcendental knowledge. The Lord wants to explain the above mentioned system of yoga knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna's confidential devotee and friend. So, like I told you before, that only one who doesn't have any envious of Krishna can hear about Krishna. Otherwise, what they will hear is a great person. He had this. He lived like so many years back. Okay. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, which is the cause of all causes and the only object for meditation in all types of yoga practice. When the cause of all causes become known, then everything knowable becomes known and nothing remains unknown. The Vedas say. So, once we know the source of everything, then we have all our answers. Right? Um, um, to give you an example, in our daily life, mm, let's say if we are studying some subject, then there are so many books on it, right? But there is one very recommended book. If we read that book, then we know everything about that subject matter. Yes. So it is similar to like
Yes.
this. Yeah, it's similar to like this. That
Yes, Rajat.
um, when we know Krishna, we know everything. There's nothing remaining to be known. There's nothing outside of Krishna. मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चिद् यतति सिद्धे यतातम अपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन् मां वेति तत्वतः. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of these who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So, very few people actually take to spirituality. Among that few, they um, they advance, and among that few who advance, there is one of the few who will achieve perfection. Meaning, he will come to know Krishna is the supreme person of Godhead, and he will realize that knowledge. That is perfection. So it's like these competitive exams are there, na? Lakhs of people they sit, thousands get qualified. Then there is 1, 2, 3 rounds of interviews, and then only um, perfection is achieved. Okay, purport. There are various grades of men, and out of many thousands, one may be sufficiently interested in transcendental realization to try to know what is the self, what is the body, and what is the absolute truth. Generally, mankind is simply engaged in the animal propensity, namely eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, and hardly anyone is interested in transcendental knowledge. The first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita are meant for those who are interested in transcendental knowledge. First, they want knowledge, Ashtanga Yoga. In understanding the self, the super self, and the process of realization by Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and discrimination of self from matter. However, Krishna can be known only by persons who are in Krishna consciousness. Again, I will just read this thing and I'll stop to explain more. Other transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, for this is easier than understanding Krishna. Krishna is a Krishna is a supreme person, and at the same time, he is beyond the knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma. The yogis and jnanis are confused in their attempts to understand Krishna, although the greatest of impersonalists, Sripad Shankaracharya, has admitted in Gita commentary that Krishna is the supreme personality and his followers do not accept Krishna as such. For it is very difficult to know Krishna. And even though one has transcendental realization of the impersonal Brahman. Okay, quite a long purport. Krishna is the supreme personal Godhead, the cause of all causes, the primeval Lord Govinda, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda, Anadi Radha Govinda, Sarva Karana Karana. It is very difficult for a non-devotee to know him. Although non-devotees declare that the path of bhakti or devotional service is very easy, they cannot practice it. See, bhakti is actually very easy, but still there are some people who will find it difficult to practice. So one of the reason is that they are not hearing about Krishna. See, when we hear about Krishna, right? Um, Sorry. See, when we hear about Krishna, our heart should be transformed. Okay. So if somebody is hearing about Krishna, but his heart is not getting transformed, then it is as good as not hearing only. So for them, this process of hearing becomes difficult path, because their mind is not there. Their affection, their attraction towards Krishna is not there, so they can't advance more. Actually, the path of bhakti yoga is not easy. The so-called path of bhakti practiced by the unauthorized persons without knowledge of bhakti may be easy, but when it is prescribed factually according to the rules and regulations, the speculative scholars and philosophers fall from the path. Sri Rupa Goswami writes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Devotional service to the of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narada Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in the society. So, if you want to follow bhakti, we have to refer to the books, the scriptures. Okay. Um, if we ignore the book, let's say somebody says I am a doctor, but actually he's not a doctor. He just printed some certificate and put his name on it. Then such a fake doctor will create disturbance in the society, right? Bad treatment, some person may die also by that. So that's why these doctors have to follow certain rules, regulations, access certain books. So therefore, even devotees, they may think, okay, bhakti is very easy. We just have to chant the holy name. Yes, we have to chant the holy name, but um, sorry, I lost my thought. Okay. So, one may chant Krishna's holy name, but he needs some knowledge to back it up, right? So, therefore, in the Upanishads, here in the Shastra, it is said that whatever bhakti we follow, it should be mentioned in the Puranas, Narada Pancharatri Upanishads. Meaning, they should guide us in telling us how to perform bhakti. Otherwise, it will become a disturbance. Another example I can think is, let's say some washing machine or fridge there's some problem in washing machine or fridge at your home. Now a person comes and he's trying to fix. Maybe your neighbor comes and that neighbor tries to fix the washing machine and fridge. Will you allow him?
No, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we will say let's get a
No.
technician. Let's get the technician. Why? Because technician is trained in the manual, in the workings of the device. Okay, but in case of the neighbor, he is not trained in that, right? So therefore, even devotional service, it may seem simple, to fix a fridge or a washing machine. Just few buttons you press and it will start working again. Some pipes you clean and it may start working again, right? It may seem very simple. Like a technician may come and fix your fridge, and he may give a bill of 500 rupees. And we may question, what? Why 500 rupees? You just came 5 minutes only. You came, you did this cleaning of that, and then you replace something, and for that you're asking 500 rupees. Why? So a neighbor may say, I will do it free for you, but then you will say to your neighbor, you know, you will create more problem than before, right? That is our fear. So therefore, we want technicians who have learned from the manuals and properly, and then when they fix it, then it will work. Similarly, bhakti, the directions of bhakti are mentioned in the Puranas, Pancharatri, and Upanishads. We have to follow that. We should not concoct our own bhakti process. Okay, this is what Krishna likes, so I will do like that. No. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 9 Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu is there. That verse is there. So the Shastras, they talk that we have to follow this verse, and then we can advance. So like this, this is the connection of the Shastras with the process of Bhakti Yoga. That it guides us in our bhakti. It is not possible for Brahman realized impersonalist or the Paramatma realized yogi to understand Krishna, the Supreme Person Godhead, as the son of Mother Yashoda or the charioteer of Arjuna. Even the great demigods are sometimes confused about Krishna. Muyanti yat suraya mam tu vedena kashchanan. No one knows me as I am. The Lord says that one does not uh, if one does know him, then sa Mahatma Durlabha. Such a great soul is very Durlabha. Durlabha means difficult to find. Very rare. Not difficult, but rare. Who can understand Krishna as he is? Very rare. Therefore, unless one practices devotional service to the Lord, one cannot know Krishna as he is. Even though one may be great scholar or philosopher, only the pure devotees can know something of the inconceivable transcendental qualities in Krishna. His being the cause of all causes, the omnipotence and opulence, and his wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and realization. Because Krishna is um, benevolently inclined to his devotees. He is the last word in Brahman realization, and the devotees alone can realize him as he is. Therefore, it is said, Ata Krishna Namadi na bhavet graham indriya sevanamukhi jivado swayam eva spurayati ada. No one can understand Krishna as he is by the blunt material knowledge, but he reveals himself to his devotees, being pleased with them for their transcendental loving service unto him. So Krishna responds to sincerity. How much sincere a person is in his practice of devotional service, Krishna will respond accordingly and purify that person's heart. Okay. Any questions, comments here? No. Okay. So Krishna is going to talk about his opulences. Opulences means what he possesses, his power, his control, all these things he's going to talk about. The very first verse he says, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence. These are together, these 8 constituted my separated material energy. So um, Krishna owns and controls these material things. What? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All these things Krishna controls. So he starts saying his opulences. Anything he has left out? Do you think anything that is left out in this list? Actually, nothing is left out. Everything is there. The whole earth, mud, trees coming out of it. Water, without water we cannot live. Fire, without sun we cannot live. Air, ether, mind, intelligence. We have 5 minutes left. Any questions at this point?
So you're saying everything in our planet is made by the combination of all these elements.
Yes. And these
Okay, I have
elements,
I
yeah.
I had heard about air, water, fire, earth, ether, but yeah, the false ego and
Oh,
intelligence is
okay. Okay.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. You asked me. Is Does software run on your mobile,
Yes.
in the laptop? Yes, right?
Yes. Yes.
But do you see it?
No.
No,
No.
Prabhuji.
We don't see that software. So like that, the mind intelligence is there. And false ego means ego means identity. See, we are very much aware of our identity. I am Mr. So and so. You will see, a baby will identify with the name that we give him, right? If you call that
Yes,
name,
sir.
he will look. He will look in that direction. So this is called ego. Now there is some word called as false. False means incorrect, wrong. So our identity as the external body, I am Mr. So and so, is actually false. So therefore it is called false ego. Now you understand?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Like, somebody playing a video game. What is the ego while playing the video game?
To
They
win.
think that they're the person who is,
Yeah,
I
they are the
mean,
person
driving
who,
the car or a scooter, whatever it is.
yes, whatever is running on the screen, they think they are that person. So it is a false identification, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So that's why the word false ego is used. And Krishna says, all of this is my energy only. Okay. And then he starts saying many more things, um, which we'll discuss next time. Any questions or comments at this point? Okay.
No, Prabhuji.